Hello guys, what is up? CD Mangeka here. Get my fedora on. What up, son? And today we got a little domination for you on Corey, but we're not talking about the gameplay. Gameplay not important right now. What I really want to talk about is this in musical opinions. Episode 3, Linkin Park, and basically, but we're gonna focus on a specific aspect of Linkin Park. Their latest album that came out, which I was able to purchase on iTunes, Thousand Suns. And from the get-go, I read a whole bunch of fan reviews, and it ranged. People either hated it or thought it was decent or liked it, kind of a thing. You know, I mean, there was no real middle ground, and there was no reason why. You know, I mean, people complain, this isn't the Linkin Park we know. I mean, Minutes to Midnight was, you know, we could pass that up, but dude, this is just absolutely horrible. And I thought, you know, like, well, they were definitely a lot. And my mom and I thought they were going a different direction, you know. And one guy, there was a sensible review that we picked up on. Was that, you know, as these guys are approaching middle age, they're kind of toning down. The sound of the album, definitely not the Linkin Park that we all grew up with, in a sense. It's the Linkin Park that we're just not used to. And they definitely went the more melodious route. There's a couple raps in there, you know, but there's no real heavy guitar, which kind of brings me down, because I personally love guitar instruments playing and whatnot. Eat it, son. Payback, you bitch. Sorry. But as I looked around, I thought, well, maybe, you know, this album is not necessarily an album for songs, you know. Maybe it's more of an album. C4 Rat Shield, that pissed me off so bad. I'm getting distracted here. Okay, hold on, we're not even looking at the gameplay. I thought about maybe they weren't making a compilation of songs, but they were making of one big scenic story, kind of like what Styx did with their one album. I can't remember what it is, but it's got, you know, Mr. Roboto in it, and it tells a story about a person. And I thought maybe Linkin Park's trying to do something like that, where they're not meant to be individually listened to, but as an entire whole. And this belief of mine was backed up when I noticed on their album that they had one song on it that was the entire Thousand Suns or something like that, and it was 46 minutes. And I kind of put two and two together and thought, isn't that like the whole album length? All their album, based on iTunes, you can buy their entire album in one song and listen to the whole thing like that. And it just kind of spoke out to me that, you know, Linkin Park wants you to listen to this album as a single piece of work in order. And so that's how I did it. You know, I thought, okay, I'm not looking for new singles, I'm not looking for anything like that. I'm just going to see how the musical experience plays out. And I threw it on my iPod, threw it in my ears, put it on the album, didn't shuffle it, and I listened to the whole thing straight. You have to be in the mood to listen to Thousand Suns. You have to. There's only one or two, three songs on there that you can kind of listen to. Just, they went more of the technical, and they were going for a sound-based thing, not necessarily a song, but I mean, they're going for a sound. It's more like a rap kind of, it's more like a rock, alternative rock symphony kind of a thing. You know, it'd be more of the kind of thing that you go out, rare close to, and experience at a night event, rather than, you know, it's a concert, and you guys come there and playing individual songs. It's something that's gotta be continuous. You know, I could feel, and definitely with intermissions between some songs and some bits of it, it was all meant to be heard together. I mean, it all sounded just like one big orchestral movement. It was definitely acoustic. The sound was great. You know, Linkin Park has definitely gone a different way, but it's not the rock and roll that, you know, a lot of people like, and that's a lot of the reason why people are doing it. You know, and a person who wrote a review on it pointed something out interesting. You know, like, as Linkin Park's getting closer to middle age, and the guys are only in their 30s, but for some rock and rollers, 30 is middle age, unless you're the Rolling Stones, you know. But yeah, that was a joke my friend of my family threw down. But aside from that, you know, they're getting older. They're kind of, you know, losing that, you know, younger adrenaline drive they got, and they're kind of going for the more musical stuff. You know, they don't want to do the same old thing. You know, but you know, people listen to a certain kind of Linkin Park, and this is definitely an older, wiser Linkin Park that's more mellow. It's the kind of Linkin Park my parents could almost listen to, but even then, they still have some of the screamo effects. There's no real instrument. There's no real, well, I can't say no real instrument. They got no real, the traditional rock instruments into it. You know, guitar, and, you know, they got a little bit of drum work, but I mean, there's nothing that stands out. It's mostly techno stuff and acoustic and instrumental, and you have to be in the right mood. I kind of liked it, but if you're looking around for songs, I mean, I don't think I could only listen to about 2 or 3 of those songs randomly shuffling on my iPod. You know, one of them being The Catalyst, which is a single where they released, but I mean, even with the Catalyst, if you listen to it part of the album, you can tell that Linkin Park was going for one big symphonic effect with the entire thing. So, I mean, just don't think, you know, like, alright, we're gonna get a couple good songs here. No, you're not. You're gonna get a whole bunch of, you're just gonna get some orchestral stuff, and if you're in the right mood, it's good. I like the album, but it's definitely not mainstream, and you have to be in the right mood for it. You have to listen to the whole thing through, then you can kind of understand it, and then maybe if there's a song that stood out to you, you can kind of listen to that. But, I mean, if you really want to appreciate the album, listen to the whole thing straight, no shuffling, alright? I mean, that's my advice there. I mean, it's good. Oh, look at that. I still don't know how I got that freaking double spray. Is he on attacking, sir? I have no freaking idea. Let's see. Let's see. Well, we covered up Thousand Suns. I kind of like it. There's, you know, again, there's... You had to be in the mood for it, in my opinion. And here we go, we're messing with the spawn trap. They're spawning C. And you have to be in the right mood for it. But Linkin Park in general, we all know kind of how they sound like. Techno mixed with rock. You know, they got the DJ, but they got the guitar and the drums, and their first stuff have been. And what I like about them, you know, is that they got the rap, but they also have the singing, so I can tolerate the songs. And I do find, you know, their subjects are general enough where it doesn't offend me. Because for me, most part, the lyrics of rap are what get me, and the sound of it. Because most rap is generally offensive, but Linkin Park's is not. They do say swear words, you know, and whatnot, but I mean, there's no sexual orientation. Swear words honestly don't really bother me at this point in my life, just because I've been around them so much, and I've... I mean, my parents don't like that about me. It bugs them a bit, but it's just, I don't really mind, you know, and I don't take much offense at people swearing, and, I mean, I do it all the time. I can't be really hypocritical. But, let's see, with that said, you know, I mean, I like a lot of their songs. In the End was good. Breaking the Habit, Faint, What I've Done, Bleed It Out. Minutes to Midnight, that's where they began to depart, and they went more melodious, and people generally didn't like it. I had a friend on Facebook say it was conformist, and I'm like, I'll try. Understand that a bit. You know, I can only listen to 3 songs off of Minutes to Midnight, though. Valentine's Day, Bleed It Out, and What I've Done. Occasionally, well, not even Shadow of the Day. I mean, that's when they went mellow, and I mean, you know, when... because I mean, we're used to Linkin Park hard rock out, you know, the screaming music, whatnot. Place for My Head, I like that song. Numb, that's a good song. I mean, that's like, to me, Numb is like the Linkin, like, quintessential is the word, quintessential Linkin Park song. It just, call me crazy, argue with me, you might think I have a different opinion, I don't care. Numb, In the End probably is also a better example of that stuff, but as far as Linkin Park goes, I don't like them as much just because, I mean, again, I'm all for the darker kind of stuff, and Linkin Park doesn't go that dark for me. And, you know, I like the heavier guitar riffs and whatnot, and, you know, which is why 3 Days Grace appeals to me. You know, I mean, I understand 3 Days Grace is not the best band in the world. They're my favorite, though, and I mean, compared to Skillet, 3 Days Grace is not good. Skillet is a lot better than 3 Days Grace. They are a lot more intricate with their music, their topics. Well, I mean, they probably variety of their song topics, motives, whatever, a lot more than 3 Days Grace does, and they have a lot more intricacy. But I gotta give 3 Days Grace credit for, you know, taking simple stuff and making it sound so damn good. I give them that much. I give them that, and I do connect to 3 Days Grace more just because some of their lyrics are a bit kind of fit me. And but Linkin Park doesn't necessarily do that. I don't get emotionally attached to them. I like music that gets me emotionally going, in a sense, not just music that sounds good. If it doesn't have a meaning with it, it's kind of hard to sell me. Look at this kid. Look at that. Fail. A little bit of a spawn rush. Oh, what? Anyways, Thousand Suns, Linkin Park. Experiment if you dare. Experiment if you dare. Very different Linkin Park. You love it or you don't. In my opinion, listen to it as a whole thing. Think of it as a continuous flow that's trying to tell you a story, and maybe you'll like it then. Anyways, if you have your own opinions about it, let me know, dude. Signing out, guys.